After all the noise, a controversial event is about to take place in the royal family. King Charles is preparing to invite Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to a big royal reunion. We will update specifically on this incident in this video, and please watch until the very end. Welcome back, we are the Kate Middleton and the Queen YouTube channel. Reportedly, King Charles is considering inviting his wayward son Prince Harry and his narcissistic wife Meghan Markle to Balmoral Castle this summer, as the king is trying to improve royal relations and build a closer bond with his grandchildren. A well-placed source spoke with Page 6, saying, "I can see Charles desperately wanting to see the children and extending this olive branch to Meghan and Harry. In addition, the 75-year-old monarch also wants to spend more time with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet because he believes that life is too short." Oh God, well here we go again, folks. I mean, these tabloids and paparazzi just won't give it up. They are the ones behind this alleged story, and they're pushing this on a daily basis in the media. They are so desperate to get Harry back behind palace walls so that he can leak some information about Charles and Catherine. That's what this is all about. I mean, Harry has been selling out his family for years. There hasn't been a single leak since Harry left. I wonder why. Now, surely Charles and William understand what's going on, and they know they cannot afford to let Harry come back. I'm just hoping and praying that William will keep his feet planted so that Harry can stay away from his family. And if Charles is so weak as to allow this, then okay, fine, but still keep Harry out of sight. And if this really turns out to be a true story, Charles is making a big mistake. There is no amount of sympathy that can cover Harry and Meghan's indiscretions. I mean, really, indiscretions isn't even the right word. It's just unbelievable. King Charles needs to just forget about those two invisible grandchildren, and he needs to come clean about them not being really the biological kids of Harry and Meghan. So maybe it's just that this cancer diagnosis has scared the king into thinking that he has to invite those two. And surely Meghan wouldn't need to be concerned about security for that event if it ever really happened. And Meghan Markle also doesn't need to worry about security for that little trip back to the UK next month. I'm sure the king is going to give it. He'll probably have a car waiting for them as they stroll off of their private jet that they're going to fly on. I mean, Harry and Meghan are really doing a lot to destroy our planet, aren't they? Now, perhaps this is just another example of shameless self-promotion from the Montecito morons. I mean, they are pretty infamous for this little habit. Honestly, it also kind of makes me worried about what exactly His Majesty's prognosis is. Maybe it's not as optimistic as they're letting on, because what else could be the explanation? I don't think anything, though, of this kind is being considered. I think this is BS. I think there are way too many risks associated with bringing those two back. Moreover, if the king really were interested in getting to know the children, well, he can just do a Zoom call. I mean, His Majesty is incredibly busy. I don't think that he has any room left to have anything else in his life that might bring him stress, including a couple of invisible grandchildren. He also takes his duties to the Commonwealth, the realms of the United Kingdom, and the House of Windsor incredibly seriously. He takes his coronation vows very seriously, too. And of course, that has to come first. But Harry and Meghan take nothing seriously at all. They don't even take their bank account balance seriously. So if the king decides to welcome them back in, then I think that a lot of people are going to be done with the royal family. People are not going to be able to stand for this. The king has no right to force the people to accept those two back, especially after everything they have said and done to try to damage the royal family and the people of Britain. Now, the rest of the royal family, especially Prince William and Princess Catherine, I don't think they're going to be okay with this. They don't want to let Harry and Meghan anywhere near, and they don't need any more stress in their lives either. So if King Charles really wants to be involved in the lives of the invisible grandchildren, why can't he just head over to the US to go visit them? If King Charles is going to insist on inviting them, then he needs to first show his support to William and Catherine and Sophie and Edward by taking away Harry and Meghan's titles and the titles of their invisible children too, because they are such a source of drama. Harry and Meghan can go on these expensive vacations, they can live a life of leisure and luxury, and they don't have one good thing to say about the royal family. So why isn't the king doing more to show support to the other people, the people who are supporting him? I mean, where is his sense of justice? But anyway, I seriously have my doubts about this olive branch. Why would the king invite them back? I mean, what is he going to invite them for? To do what exactly? They're only going to do more damage if they're allowed to. And I know the royal family loves Balmoral, but Meghan hates it because she's not a country girl. She only likes to walk around in parking lots where she can wear 6-inch heels. She doesn't appreciate any rural activities. And also, where are the cameras? And as for the Invisa kids, why bring them at all? Certainly not to a location where there's no other extended family who can play with them. Harry and Meghan reportedly have also declined plenty of invitations before, most importantly from the late Queen. So, what about Meghan's supposed security fears? Overall, the crime rate in the UK is a lot less than that in California. I mean, honestly, these security fears are completely overblown. And I'm sure the king also has additional security at Balmoral. It seems like Meghan could probably wander around the grounds without worrying about being mugged for her designer jewelry she paid too much for. Although Harry might find it very difficult to get the drugs he needs. Now, according to Facebook, a murder investigation happened at a nearby holiday home in which the mother successfully concluded that it was carried out by Professor Plum of the library with a lead pipe. That is what the crime rate is like there. Honestly, it looks like King Charles is not making the best decisions right now if this really is true. I mean, this shows that he has no concern for his other son, William, even in the middle of this cancer situation with his faithful daughter-in-law. Is it because he doesn't want to strip them of their titles? I mean, he needs to do it. He needs to have Parliament do it. I mean, he's keeping them on the royal website too, and he just thinks that it's okay, I guess, for them to insult the royal family all the way from Montecito. But I think that he needs to be thinking more of Catherine and William right now. It's stuff like this that has me looking forward to the reign of King William. And who does Meghan think she is? She is no queen. She'll never be queen. Her kids are never going to be king or queen either. Nobody's interested in what she's got to offer. I mean, people are interested in the future king and queen, and Meghan knows that. So she's just trying to get some good publicity for herself, or just some publicity, period. Now, supposedly, they've got enough money to pay for their own security, so why can't they do that? Why are they always walking around looking for handouts? Harry is the son of King Charles. That can never change, but I wouldn't call him a prince of the UK anymore. I mean, occasional private visits, and then he goes right back home. That's a lot more than he even deserves, and he can blame Meghan Markle for this estrangement. But the king should care about what the citizens want, and the citizens of the UK have spoken. They don't want Harry to come back to the UK ever again. If the two of them really are coming back, then maybe it's time for a referendum on the royal family. I think many citizens are disgusted by what Harry and Meghan call the people of Britain, and the citizens do not want their hard-earned money going to Harry and Meghan. So as long as Harry acts like a toddler and trashes his family in public and can still somehow be forgiven for it, well, he's going to continue to do exactly that. So I really hope this doesn't happen. It is time to teach Harry a lesson. There are consequences to behavior, because even the late queen could not trust them. She refused to allow photographers when they visited her. She knew what was going on. And let's remember that the 96-year-old queen fired her easily led grandson with a full agreement of Charles and William because he simply couldn't work in the firm anymore, and that decision could not be undone. In Robert Jobson's new book, it says that from the moment Charles became king, the emotional blackmail began. Don't you want to see your grandchildren? Now, he said the king made it clear that he refused to be emotionally blackmailed. Good for him. He refused to pay for Harry's security, that he kicked them out of Frogmore, and he tried his best to get him removed as Counselor of State, but apparently Parliament blocked him. He refused to call his grandchildren his and her Royal Highness, and Harry and Meghan got infuriated. Well, the king has protocol in place. He's not going to have any phone calls with the gruesome twosome, no face-to-face meetings either without a witness there. And he doesn't even have a cell phone, so really, Harry and Meghan can't bother him. And since then, we have sat and watched as the king and Catherine were accused of being racist by that little weasel Omid Scobie. And then when the king fell ill, they tried this whole, oh, we're going to come and help out with royal duties. No, you won't. A mercy dash to see his sick father, uninvited by the way, which got him about 12 minutes, arguing about Camilla being there. And then the king and queen took off in the helicopter for Sandringham and just left Harry all on his own to fume. And then the photo campaign against poor Catherine, trying to present themselves as the alternative royal family. And then we heard about Catherine's announcement, and that little plan came crashing down all around them. And now Meghan and her idiot are left with trying to sell Sussex brand BS online. And they are so desperate for people to buy their wares, but they're not going to. And now they've made up this invitation to Balmoral. I also don't believe that King Charles ever met Elizabeth, considering that, in fact, no children were in the UK during the Platinum Jubilee. I mean, in the Times article, it was stated that Lilibet has never been to the UK. Now, has King Charles even met the real archofficial, or could it have been a rent-a-kid claimed as being Archie, or maybe even a doll? I think this story is another example of a puff piece that Harry and Meghan are putting out because they are so desperate to pretend like they still have a connection to the royal family. So maybe Harry only wants to make peace with the royal family now because Charles has cancer, but he doesn't stand much chance of ever being part of the royal family again. Everything is down to William. He must be panicking, but he should have thought about that before he trashed his own family and wrote a book of lies.